greatest.
Puerto Ricanya, I'm that chica. Puerto Ricanya. Tell me it's over. It's over. Tell me it's over. It's over. It's over. Tell me it's over. It's over. It's over. Tell me it's over. It's over. It's over.
How y'all doing? This is Miss Mimi Johnson, the arts reporter, your arts reporter, where we focus on arts, entertainment, entrepreneurs, and inspirational life stories. I am here with Peter Jean-Marie. Now, I just want to give you a little bit of why I am inspired to interview this gentleman. So I saw him online, and I saw his black-owned shoes, which I went and bought me some. And I saw that what his story was about. And his story was basically he wanted to aspire to be a designer in someone else's venue, and they said that he couldn't. Well, you know, when we are passionate about our work, we're going to do what we want to do. We're going to get it done. So I'd like for everyone to meet Peter Jean-Marie. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing today?
I'm great, absolutely. I'm so excited about interviewing you because, first of all, you're a black-owned business, which I support wholeheartedly. I'm always buying black-owned products. And the fact that you're so young and you're so inspired to, design, you have ties, you have shoes, you have shirts, and they can also go to your website and they can check you out. So let's start from when you were at the start of I can design something. How old were you?
I was about 16 years old.
Uh-huh.
And you want me to go?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, so I was 16 years old. I first started off modeling for Gap, and then I did that for 2 years. And then after I had got done through modeling, I was being limited to certain jobs because my mom, she was a single working mother, and I had three other siblings, and I wasn't able to make it to these jobs consistently due to her circumstances and all that. So as a 16-year-old, I one day it just triggered on my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and start my own brand and be my own model so that I could profit both ways. So really, I was actually after a modeling dream because I wanted to model.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it anymore due to my mother. So I wanted to start my own brand and model my own clothing. And then a year and a half later, I went on to, I applied for different design schools, started submitting my designs, and by the time I was a junior, I was already accepted to the Miami International University of Art and Design.
Yeah.
And in 2016, I started college in 2015 after I got the hands-on learning experience. The following year, 2016, I got my first national recognition at the Miami International Mall, where I had created this dress out of chocolate.
Right, which I would have ate that whole dress up. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and right after that, I graduated. Right after that, I started, making some buzz around the area. Started being booked by different colleges to go out and showcase my designs and have fashion shows. And then right after I started, making my name of myself while in school, I graduated in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after I graduated, that's where I worked at that venue for about 3 months. And then once I had gathered enough funds to start my own business, that's when the manager had came in and he was like, look, Peter, you can't be a designer. In order for you to be one, you need to be selling your stuff within our store. And he did that, in front of the customers, in front of my coworkers, to somehow, shoot the dream down and make it seem like I wasn't capable of going beyond the position as a store associate. And, I kept my composure. I had already knew what I was after at the age of 16, so I didn't let that get in my way. And then from there, I started off my brand a month later, started doing pop-up shops all across Florida. I'm from Florida, by the way. I'm in
Naples.
And I did pop-up shops throughout the whole year. And then after a full year of doing pop-up shops, I went on and opened my own store. And then I had to open my own store right next to the venue that I used to work at.
Right, I read that.
And then from there, people started making major purchases. And then that's where the Ritz-Carlton kind of found me.
The Ritz-Carlton, right, let's talk about that. So with the Ritz-Carlton, you just have like your display in the Ritz-Carlton. It's a store where you have, okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the Ritz-Carlton, they started, my name making a buzz. They started hearing my name up in the air, and then they reached out, and then they're very much interested in carrying the high-end version of the label. And then from there, they went on and they selected a major portion from my line of neckties.
Yes.
And from there, at their store, they went on and displayed everything to their customers, and then their customers started buying and buying. And I can't go in too much details yet, but so far, yeah, the Ritz-Carlton, that had already happened. That had happened at the beginning of January 2020.
Good. So, I know, like, as a creative, there are a lot of people that, say, oh, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, or you should do this and you should do that. So what inspired you to stay, like, with your own, I want to say your own push?
Part of it, I've always been the very competitive kid in the family. Growing up, I played sports. I was very, very bad, by the way. I say my favorite sport was track and field. The reason why track and field was my favorite was because it's kind of an independent sport. You know what I mean? I get to show out on my own. I don't have to count on anybody. And, growing up and playing different sports, I wasn't always the best athlete. I was always talked down on. I was always looked past by the coaches and all. And then I kind of came with that mindset. I was very, very driven. So I always had the mindset of keep on pushing no matter what. And then for me, I found my talent within the fashion industry. And then the mindset that I always applied in sports, I applied it to business. And it's just being independent, being the best, and using my gift to its best potential. And that's pretty much how I've been moving so far.
That's good. That's good movement. Well, you're logged on to the Arts Reporter, your Arts Reporter, where we focus on arts, entertainment, entrepreneurs, and inspirational life stories. I am Mimi Johnson on MJTV Network, and we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Y'all, we are back. So look, we are here with Peter Jean-Marie. Where'd you get the name from? The name is like, I love the the name. I love the brand. So first let's talk about the name. Then I want you to tell me what made you pick this font, this brand. So let's start with the name. Where'd that come from?
Peter is my first name.
Yes.
Jean-Marie is my last name. I'm Haitian, so.
and you said it on social media. One more person asked you if you Haitian.
Yeah. So the last name gives it away, and I always get that question a whole lot, especially on the interviews that I've done in the past. And it's always been a controversial thing with the Haitian community, whether or not I tell the news I'm Haitian or not. It's a big deal, and I always tell them my last name gives it away. There's no need
to even ask about it, right? What made you pick these fonts and this brand? Because you have it on your sneakers. It really stands out. It pops. What made you pick this brand?
I wanted something a bit. I wanted something. It just flows with my name. I could have done a basic Calvin Klein font, a basic English print, but my brand is unique to me, and Peter Jean-Marie, or what the Haitians like to say, Peter Jean-Marie, it deserves, it has an edge to it.
Yeah.
And as for the font, it somehow just came into play. I was actually doing my internship while in college when I first created my font.
Okay.
When I first created my logo, I was working with my intern, and we were simply, we had different creatives. We were simply on Adobe Illustrator, and we were just, first it started off with a pencil, actually.
Right.
And from there, we scanned it from the paper to the computer, and we just started, playing with it, and that's pretty much
where you got your.
Correct.
So the shoes, baby. When I tell you these shoes are so comfortable. And one of my people was like, is gonna get a size 13 because they want some too. But what inspired you, and what was the whole mechanism of the shoe? Because the shoe is like walking on air. I don't know, can you see the shoe? Yeah, you can see the shoe. It's like walking on air, and it's so comfortable. So what was your inspiration for, do you call it the sneaker, the shoe? I think you call it a sneaker.
Yeah, I call them sneakers.
Okay.
The story behind that, the fashion industry, it's kind of like the music industry. You just simply follow the trend. You see what everybody else is wearing in the market. You see what everybody else is putting their interest. And the shoe is just a sock-like inspiration behind it, made out of knit and mesh, and it's just one of the popular trends of 2020. It's still popular right now, and it's just a sock, like very light, and you just simply feel the breeze through the material. So yeah, it's just a light knitwear story behind it, just following the trend.
Well, they're very comfortable. Make sure you log on to peterjeanmarie.store, and you'll see all of his items and his designs. The bow ties and the neckties are so impressive. Like, I even want to put on a collar shirt and put me on one of those ties. They are magnificent. And I'm going to make a small commercial spot or whatever to, just kind of show. So you'll see that in a few minutes. Commercial break. But where did you get like all of these different designs that you have for your ties? How did you like draw it out? How did you pick? Because they're so different.
Yeah, it's all It starts off with a sketching process. From the sketching, we go on and we screen print them into either Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, and then from there we work with different type of prints. It could be a mini print, an all over print, and we just minimize and maximize these patterns. We do repetitiveness using the different elements, and from there it's all computerized, and then from there we go on and screen print them into the fabric. And my brand, it's quality, so we use 100% silk when it comes to the neckties, and that's pretty much how.
Okay.
Yeah, we get. Well, I get my inspiration. I get my inspiration from anywhere. It could be shapes. It could be plants, a garden, just the little things. I don't make it too basic, and then from there, I just go on and we just make them a reality through the material.
Let's go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back. The Arts Reporter, your Arts Reporter, where we focus on arts, entertainment, entrepreneurs, and inspirational life stories. We gotta pay some bills. We'll be right back. Mwah.
Tell me love, it's over, it's over. Tell me love, it's over, it's over. Tell me love, it's over, it's over. Tell me love, it's over, it's over.
Okay, and we are back. We are back with Peter Jean-Marie. And say it in Haitian.
Peter Jean-Marie.
Peter Jean-Marie. I love it. What would you advise, and what kind of inspiration do you want to give to someone that is in your shoes, that has all of this creative, wonderful beauty inside?
Well, I could just simply say, do not limit yourself, and no matter what circumstance or what point you are in your life, don't let what's happening around you get inside you. Don't let that sink you.
Mm-hmm.
Just simply take control, and you are what you do. Your brand, it can go as far as you'd like it to be. Your brand, it all depends on like how badly you. It depends on how you value it. If you don't value it much, then you won't get much. You put out positive energy, you get positive back. You put out negative energy, you get negative back.
That's right.
You just have to simply be true to yourself and just execute. Do it as if your life count on it.
Mm-hmm. That's important. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back right after these messages on the Arts Reporter on MJTV Network. Year was a traumatic year for some people, and for some people it was the straight up come up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even miss a beat. So where were you in 2020 when everybody was like, this is a disaster?
All right, so I'll keep it very, very authentic, because authenticity, that's just something that you must have. Word of advice to the aspiring designers. So I'll tell you where I was at for 2020. So it was January, at the beginning of January, everything went through with the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, and then slowly, I got paid already. They already selected what they wanted, and somewhere in February, the whole coronavirus subject started coming up overseas.
Right.
At the time, I was getting my stuff made in China because the demand was very, very high, and I couldn't make everything on my own anymore. And the factories over there were being affected.
Okay.
They were affected, and finally, it finally got to a point where the opening date, of my designs at the Ritz-Carlton hotel had arrived, and the news press was out there, and then they're like, "Where's the ties? Where's the ties?" So on, so on, and I had to go on national television and tell everyone that the reason why the ties weren't there was because they were stuck overseas in China due to the pandemic, and I was the only one so far who actually, like, within the U.S. or within my city that was actually affected by it, because the COVID hadn't hit the U.S. yet. It was only overseas. And then I had to go on national TV and tell everyone that my items were stuck overseas, and then from there, the Ritz-Carlton, they completely dropped everything, and they asked for a full refund, and they asked for a full refund.
Oh gosh.
And I already spent some of the money. Some of the money went towards the brand, and then I'm just, my head is spinning. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna pay these people their money back? And March hits, Florida shuts down. I couldn't work my part-time job anymore because they got shut down due to the pandemic.
Right.
And the only thing that I was relying on, because everybody's panicking, there's online sales is dropping, and the only thing I was relying on was what's that? Food. Instacart. Shout out to Instacart. I was relying on them, and I was doing that for a good 2 months and a half. It was healthy.
Yeah.
This is true story, authenticity. I was doing that for a little bit, and while I was doing Instacart, I didn't get discouraged in the long run. At the very, very same week they closed, they had shut down Florida. My mom, she works at the hospital. She came back home complaining about how there was a huge shortage in masks. And I don't care what anybody says, especially the shade room. I was the very, very first one to start sewing over hundreds of face masks, and I donated thousands of them to different hospitals within the city and outside the city. And I did that, and I just kept on working towards it. And I started working on my online sales, working on my online visibility as far as my online store. And throughout the whole process, sometimes you just have to have faith and trust that, God has everything under control and that everything is going the way it's supposed to be. And believe it or not, the Ritz-Carlton, they called me back October of 2020. They said, "Hey," I said, "Hi." They said, "Can we speak to Peter John Marie?" I said, "Yes, this is me." They said, "Where's our neckties? We're waiting." And then in my mind, I'm like, didn't they ask for a full refund? And I'm like, I have them for you tomorrow morning. I didn't complain. I didn't mention our last conversation. I quickly went over there, dropped off the products at the Ritz, and I quickly moved out to Atlanta, Georgia, because that was part of my move. Get to the next level. But yeah, it went. That's 2020. It's been very, very interesting. It looked like
interesting for real.
Yeah, it looked like everything was completely going the opposite way. It looked like doors were being closing, but it was just a little. It was just lessons and just postpone type of. It was just a postponing moment, and it was lots of lessons were learned, and from there it was just a learning experience.
And patience.
Correct.
It's very, very important, and that gave you a sense of. I don't want to call it humility, but I will call it being humble.
Oh yeah, especially the part about serving my community and making donations and helping. That was if the pandemic didn't, if it wasn't for the pandemic, that probably wouldn't have, crossed my mind to see ways I could impact the community using my talents. Because sometimes as businessmen, we tend to get our mind so focused on receiving so much, we forget to give and forget how we could impact the people, and we need the people to keep our business growing and moving. So that was very much needed and a great lesson in 2020.
Good. How'd you bring in the new year?
The new year, well, entering the new year, I'm still experiencing certain challenges, but these challenges, they only come to pass, they don't come to stay. And the strong ones, the strong people, relapse for the ones that stand firm and stay. And through my trials and tribulation, I'm finding victory. Doors have been opened for me, and I'm very, very thankful and blessed, because as much as I could complain, there's people that are looking on the outside wishing that they were in my position. And nowadays, it's good to be grateful for the small successes, for the small accomplishments, because it didn't come by luck. It's all a blessing, and I'm very, very grateful and thankful. So the New Year's is going great, despite my challenges. It's going great.
Good. Yeah, and being grateful is very important. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back right after these messages on the Arts Reporter on MJTV Network. Y'all, so we are back and we are concluding our show. I'm Mimi Johnson, the Arts Reporter on MJTV Network. Make sure you log on to MJTVNetwork.com and also go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to MJTV Network. We're also at IG and at Facebook and all of that good stuff. So, the vision 5 years from now, your vision for yourself 5 years from now, what is that?
Well, 5 years from now, I see myself as a multi-millionaire. I see myself, giving back to the community, giving speeches, having already been in multiple different high-end stores, and just simply a major brand, a major label. Just simply, giving back, not only a strong company, but simply a company that's willing to inspire and give back to others. So I just see myself as a strong standing tower that's helping to lift up other people so that they may be strong towers as well.
That's good. I like that. A strong standing tower. I like that. That's good. All right, well, is there anything else that you would like to tell to our audience, or, let our audience know anything else about you?
Yes. Stay tuned for New York Fashion Week 2021, spring 2021. I'm preparing for that, preparing a whole new collection. And a big shout out to MJTV Network. This is my first interview since I moved out to Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I've been in the down low, so it's always an honor to simply be recognized by anyone, whether it's a big platform or a small platform. I'm truly grateful that you've seen me worth talking about on your platform.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. And we're in 127 countries where people, I look at the analytics, people watch us all over the world. So, this is definitely a great platform. I'm not going to say whether it's small or big, but I will say it is a platform. And it's a place where you are always welcome. Make sure that y'all log on to this brother's IG, log on to his website, and go and purchase. Even if it's just one tie, go and purchase something. You'll see, once you go to his website, you're gonna see amazing designs. It's really, I'm very impressed. It takes a lot to impress me, for real, because everybody basically doing the same thing. But he's doing what other people's doing, but he's doing it with his own brand, with his own niche, with his own inspiration. So it doesn't even look like anybody else's, even though you may say, oh, well, that's a tie, but it's different. And also just to support our Black businesses. That's very important. I'll be going on tour soon, so you make sure that you log on and check me out at MJTVNetwork.com. You'll see all the information there. And on 3, we're going to say tartar. 1, 2, 3, tartar.
Tell me love, it's over, it's over. Don't tell me love, it's over, it's over. Don't tell me love, it's over, it's over. Don't tell me love, it's over, it's over. Puerto Ricanya, I'm their chica. Puerto Ricanya, Puerto Ricanya, I'm their chica. Puerto Ricanya. My daddy came to US 1953. Puerto Rico. Met my mom in 65. Yeah, they had me. Now I'm here to sing this song just for you. Hope you like it, cause you know I love it too. In the Bronx, New York, yeah, that's where I was born. Singing, dancing day and night, and oh so strong. In the project, struggling through thick and thin. All I know